What is this weird outfit? Is Blaire White trying to be shoe on head now?
Trans athletes have been banned.
It is
Okay, great. I
terrible. It opens up the avenue across the country for gender-based sports bans, and it is disheartening.
Why is
I mean, it kind of is, considering that it's not evidence-based. It's just basically based on transphobia. That's it. There's no evidence. There's no investigation that happened that, oh, trans women have some huge advantage over women in sports. There's just none of that.
as a society have we gone backwards? Why as a society are things getting worse? It's just so heartbreaking and devastating to me.
One thing is abundantly
Probably because not we, Americans voted in a lunatic into the White House.
clear. Trans people are still not viewed as human beings in this country.
You know, I just love seeing my ops take L's. Trans athletes have
Who cares about if people are banned from doing sports? It's all about owning the people that you don't like, because that's all that it's about, isn't it?
been banned. You know, I just love seeing my ops take L's. That's karma. I just spilled my coffee. Oh my God. Oh well. As of yesterday, the last day of Pride Month, which they really wanted that one to sting, it was ruled that trans girls and women cannot compete on women's sporting leagues and teams in colleges and public schools. So we're thinking middle schools, high schools, the public school system. And
Wait, why? That makes no sense. What's the justification for it exactly?
this is an amazing W for common sense, obviously.
Why? Why is it an amazing W for common sense? What the fuck does common sense even mean here? What's the common sense here? Like, walk me through the common sense. Common sense is such a buzzword. I swear to God.
W for me personally, because it is
Why? Why the fuck is this a W for you personally? That you don't have children just doing sports together at school? What's the W personally?
interesting to be somebody who was really, whistleblowing on this topic and
What do you mean whistleblowing? It has been a huge topic it has been one of the main topics in media, main topics in politics for years now. What do you mean whistleblowing? Are you stupid? The whistleblower.
pushing for legislation for so long. And
You've been pushing for legislation? How? By being a pundit online? You haven't pushed for shit. What do you mean? What do you mean pushing for legislation?
it happened. The New York Post cover here has a picture of Leah Big Ass Thomas, and it says no boys allowed, which is, again, last day of Pride Month. They want
So, okay, first of all, does Blaire White consider herself a guy? That's the first question that I have. Second question is, Leah Thompson was not even winning competitions. She was fifth or something. Right?
wanted that to sting. But not everybody is as happy as me. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of people on social media.
Yeah, trans people are not happy about trans people being discriminated against. Not all trans people are happy about their rights being taken away. What?
On TikTok that are expressing they're upset with this, they're outraged with this, and they're low IQ with this.
Okay, why low IQ? Are you gonna explain? Are you gonna elaborate? Of course not. Of course not.
Today, the Supreme Court ruled that states can ban transgender women and girls from women's and girls' sports teams. Today is
You have low IQ.
the last day of
But
Pride.
that's pretty rich coming from Blaire White, by the way. Accusing anybody else of having a low IQ. Am I still on HRT? Kind of, yeah. I'm taking blockers, but I've left my estrogen in Poland because I forgot it. But yeah, I am on HRT. I got my hormones. Yeah,
And
I
one
was able to start again.
thing is abundantly clear. Trans people are still not viewed as human beings in this country across
Like,
the
it's ridiculous that a trans person, a big trans pundit, would be happy that trans rights are being taken away and say that it's not just a win for common sense, whatever the hell that means in this context, and a personal win. And whoever is unhappy about trans girl, not just trans women being banned from professional sports, but just trans girls being banned from cool sports, which genuinely nobody should give a fuck about, that's considered a win, and whoever is upset about it has low IQ. No elaboration, no explanation needed. That's just, oh my god, American pundits.
World.
It's crazy how dramatic, like, regardless, to address what she's actually saying, I'm not even trying to be shady. I'm really not.
Oh, you're not even trying to be shady. Are you saying that normally you are trying to be shady? Like when you say I'm not even trying to be shady, that kind of implies that you normally are, which that's a little bit of a silver part that you usually do try to be shady, but whatever. It's not super cold, but I'm kind of wearing this because I don't know.
You know how I'm always talking about the literary crisis in America and the world right now? I think that
Hey, you're a huge example of that. You're a huge example of that crisis.
that's actually one of the biggest problems in politics and in public debate as well, is that people just don't know what words mean. So when you talk
I know, Blair White. I know and then those illiterate people become huge pundits with how many subscribers? Over 1 million, I think. That is a problem, yeah.
about trans rights, do you actually know what those words mean? Do you know what trans means? First of all, half of them never do. And then do you actually
Do you know what trans means? Trans means that you identify as your gender identity is different from that assigned to you at birth. That's it. That's basically it. What do you think it means? What do you think trans rights means? Blair Witch jump scare. I know, right?
know what a right is? Competing in sports is far from a right.
Why? What do you mean? Equal participation in events is not a right? But what is it? Yes, it is. For all citizens to be able to participate in activities equal, that is a right. You're stupid. Again, illiterate people mock other people's IQ and make fool of themselves.
Far from a right.
Well, what is it then?
You do not have some sort of God-given right to play tight end. You know what I mean? On a sports league
I don't want to be ableist.
of your choosing. Like, it's just, I don't even know what a tight end is. This to me feels like the only W the trans community has had in a long time. It will only stand to benefit trans people if the American public is not just observing them be so unfair and unsportsmanlike and
Unfair. This person came in 5th in competitions. This is so dishonest. This is so shitty.
annoying and entitled all of the time. Okay.
Yeah, so annoying, so entitled. I just, how dare you want to participate in the same things as everybody else? So entitled. What the fuck?
Hey, hold up, because I was not expecting this to be as good as it is. Today's
Why is it good?
video is sponsored by Temu, and they just launched a new offer for new users where you can get $20 off when you spend just $20 and one.
Holy shit. Blair White is such a disgusting piece of shit. Such a dishonest, disgusting piece of shit. They always go to Leah Thomas, by the way. Without fail. It's their only example that they can give. It's the only example they know. And that's not even a correct example, so...
1 cent. So basically that's getting $20 handed to you just for using the app. I can't even hold up all of the items that I got, so bear with me. But I grabbed all these amazing items from Temu, and the price is ridiculously good. Let me show you some of my favorites. This table is definitely my favorite purchase, and it normally costs about $54.49
Okay, that's
in the
not...
Temu app. I find more stuff that I didn't even know I needed, but I do. And I think this is a cheese grater. I don't know, I really wanted it. Light up makeup mirrors. This is probably my favorite. A whole the podcast.
It's really ironic for Blair White to be mocking anybody's IQ, honestly.
Only gonna benefit y'all to not be on Front Street looking stuck on stupid all the time.
Yeah, it's only gonna benefit you not to want rights. So just go back to the closet, then you'd benefit the most, right? Just don't be openly trans. Just pretend to be cis. It's good. The benefit's gonna skyrocket. I know. It's whatever. It's like brain dead sponsorship for a brain red content creator.
To me felt more of a trans rights win than a loss.
Yeah, of course. The rights being taken away is always a win for advancing, right? What next? What else would advance trans rights? Oh, banning access to hormones. How's that? Maybe that would advance trans rights. How about trans? I don't even. What the fuck? What is this? I know that your rights are being taken away, but have you considered that it actually is a gigantic win? Temu is such a good match for her. I don't even know that company, to be quite honest with you. I've never even heard of this Temu thing before. I've never even heard of this bullshit before.
Because it's not a right to play a sport, like I said. And also, I think that even if we have to
It's not about a right to play a sport. Blaire White is either dishonest or really stupid. I think it's both. I've never heard of them. It's either dishonest or stupid or both. Okay? It's not about a right to play a sport. It's about a right to be able to participate in sports, just like everybody else. Okay? You have a right to participate in sports, just like everybody else. Especially on a school level. Especially on a school level. Should be a no-brainer. Right? Come on.
force y'all to be fair and have some semblance of equality in your perspectives and your behavior, even if it's forced, it's still going to be a good thing for trans people. It's going to improve their
What's fair about this? What are you basing this fairness on, Blaire White? Nothing. You base it on far-right talking points and nothing else.
public image, people not seeing them do this all the time.
The U.S. Supreme Court announced today
A public image. So basically, trans people are icky, and it would benefit you if you just not be so icky to the public. Just go back to the closet, and unironically, that would be the biggest advancement of trans rights. Trans rights going straight back into the closet.
that they are upholding the ban on trans athletes from playing in women's and girls' sports. Let's be clear. These people do not give a damn about protecting children or women. It's all about
True. I agree. What's going to be Blaire White's counter argument is going to be something along the lines of, oh gosh, this person has so many tattoos. They look so ugly and they have low IQ and common sense.
protecting children until its children are actively bombing, starving, and exploiting for resources and power. It's about protecting women and children until it comes to putting away little pets and believing victims of sexual assault.
Just like I said in the last episode, one of the biggest signs of low IQ is an inability to understand one-to-one comparisons.
There you go. I knew it. There you go.
Do I understand the sentiment when you're like, well, how about the protection of victims of people? I'm sure you're implying the Epstein list. I care about that. I'm sure you're talking about women and girls being bombed in Gaza and other places. I care about that. But to compare that to a domestic policy that just affects states in America about middle school and high school sporting teams, to pretend as if it's some sort of humanitarian crisis on the same scale actually diminishes.
Yeah, nobody says that. Yeah, the fact that Blaire White complains about people not understanding what is being said, low IQ, very ironic. I'm just gonna say, very ironic.
Whatever care you purport to have for the things you were just comparing it to unsuccessfully. Another sign of the low IQ cannot understand that multiple things can be true at once. We need to handle those other issues.
Maya Mayor says, how would it benefit trans people to have the highest court in the land affirm the claim that trans people are cheating in women's sports? It would benefit trans people, of course, because the public image, you see, of course.
And we need to make better choices in those other areas, but also trans women shouldn't be in women's sports. Like, those two things can be.
Why should trans women not be in women's sports? You haven't made a case for it. You've not made any arguments for it. You just say that anybody that disagrees with you has low IQ. That's it. That's all we've done. And then you said common sense.
Be true at the same time.
Why as a society have we gone backwards? Why as a society are things getting worse? It's just so heartbreaking and devastating to me that we're advocating all the time for trans rights when trans people only make up 1% of the population. Trans people do 0% of harm to you.
This is the failed worldview of the modern progressive, the modern leftist. They have
What's the failed worldview exactly? Are trans people not 1% of the population anymore?
this completely false nowhere rooted in truth belief that progress is always forward. So whatever we're doing.
What? I have to listen to that again. It's like, I'm sorry, Blaire White complaining about other people's IQ is it's comedy to me. What?
In a layer rooted in truth belief, they have this completely false, nowhere rooted in truth belief that progress is always forward. So whatever we're.
What the fuck? Does Blaire White know what progress means? Let's progress definition. Progress is the movement forward or onward toward a goal, or the gradual development, growth, or improvement of something to a higher, better, or more advanced state. It implies a positive change, whether in personal skills, science, or society. What? Okay, we're gonna listen to it again. We've listened to a definition of progress. Now I guess we're gonna listen to this again because it has got to be one of the stupidest things that I have heard today. It is one of the stupidest things that I've heard today.
Nowhere rooted in truth belief that progress is always forward. So whatever we're doing in a linear, time ain't even linear if you actually understand time, but they're not even there. In a linear, time ain't even linear if you actually understand time.
Holy shit. Right after she talked about people not knowing what words mean. I know.
But they're not even there. They just feel like whatever we're doing going forward, changing norms, changing rules, progress, trans rights, progress is not always forward. Sometimes
progress is not always progress. She listed progress.
norms, changing rules, progress, trans rights.
This is just empty babble. This is just empty babble for idiots.
Progress is not always forward. Sometimes progress is putting it in reverse, beep, beep, and being like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't be going 120. Maybe we should be going 85. We can still.
That's not progress.
Go forward, but sometimes the best ideas don't come from just this incessant push for this idea of progress, which is
sometimes progress is not progress.
Completely, that word is so subjective. And I would actually say the most up to date, in the know people, you could otherwise describe them as the most progressive, are actually exactly where I am at on this issue and where people.
Blaire White is actually the most progressive of all people. Holy shit.
Who watch this channel are at on this issue, and most of America, which is like, wow, we really, went a little overboard with the trans athlete thing. Let's reverse. So
what? How do you know that most of America feels that way?
They're not putting you in camp, sweetheart. Save the theatrics.
Nobody's saying anything about camps. Again, what the fuck? What do you mean in camps? What the fuck does that even mean? Blaire White is so stupid. I swear to God. One of the stupidest people I've ever had the displeasure of watching.
Ain't nothing worse than a cucked out man like that. I can't.
Today's Supreme Court decision upholding the transgender sports ban is awful. It is terrible. It opens up the avenue across the country for gender-based sports bans.
We already have gender-based sports bans. I can't. We've always had them. This opens us up to a whole new thing. What do you mean? Sports have been segregated since women even had the right to play sports. This new ruling is awful. It opens up the window to how it's always been. Yeah. The time of how it's.
So basically Blaire White says that trans women are not I have to ask this from time to time because I'm confused. So is Blaire White basically saying that she's a man? Is that it? Does Blaire White just see herself as a man that kind of, I don't know, cosplays as a woman? Does Blaire White see herself as some drag performer? Oh, cancer for immigrants now, that's true.
It's always been where there was no issues like this at all. And when y'all didn't even have complaints, by the way.
Yes.
These people act like they've been screaming from the rooftops since the civil rights movement about trans sports equality. Don't act like this isn't a buzzword topic you picked up in 2019 and just can't let it go.
I'm sorry, who picked it up? Is it trans people that picked it up, or maybe bigots that suddenly woke up that sports exist and decided that trans people need to be banned from it on a school level of all levels?
It's like those daddy issues, you just can't let them go.
What the fuck? What? What do you mean daddy issues? Her jokes are just not funny. They're very forced, very stupid,
Let this one go.
and don't have anything to do with the topic at hand.
And that's my advice to all trans activists or people who want to advocate on behalf of trans people.
Yeah, that's your advice. Perfect thumbnail right there. That's your advice for trans activists and for trans people that want trans rights. You know, that is her advice for those who fight for trans rights. How about you just don't, right? Like the best way for you to advance trans rights is to not fight for trans rights, right? It's just screw trans rights. How about trans wrongs or something stupid? Like, come on.
The allies, right? Is just let this.
It's just so stupid. I'm sure she's legitimately trans, but she sucks up the conservatives so much that she accepts being labeled as a man. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then she talks of common sense, low IQ, and not understanding what is being talked about.
Ain't nobody except
You just you know, if you're fighting for human rights, just let this one go. Just forget about human rights for a moment.
the AGP. You know what I
Oh, AGP, the made up thing. That's great. That's great that Blaire White jumped on the AGP thing. Why am I even surprised?
mean? Bricked up, manlied up. They're
Bricked up.
because they're interested in women. Those are the only ones even wanting to play sports, otherwise known as cross-dressers by a saner time.
Oh, so okay, let me get this straight. The argument that Blaire White is making is that any trans woman that wants to participate in women's sports is actually a bricked up, perverted man who is attracted to women, a cross-dresser. And Blaire White is basing this assessment on, I have no clue. I have no clue what she's basing this assessment on. But yeah, it's just specifically all trans women that want to participate in sports are just cross-dressers. Blaire White has declared so because fuck if I know. Hell if I know.
5 minutes ago. So when I see stuff like this, when y'all are fighting for these big backs to go in these women's spaces, you know what I mean? Change with Riley Gaines and stuff like that. I'm not seeing it as you advocating for me, trans rights. What do you mean? You're advocating for men to oppress women. That's because that's what's happening when men are in women's sports.
So trans women are not women, according to Blaire White. Because all trans women that want to take part in sports are just cross-dressers, of course.
It is what it is. And I've talked about the science
Oh,
so many
that's your argumentation. It is what it is.
times that I don't even want to get into it. But I will just say this
You haven't talked about the science, actually. No, you haven't.
one thing people don't really talk about, which is that
Oh, what is it? What is the thing that people don't talk about?
literally it's only within the first 2 years of puberty that the differences between males and females in athletics and in bodily development, where it's the same as it's like the disparity is the biggest it's ever going to be for the rest of their lives.
The SCOTUS
What? Citation needed.
ruling today banning
Sorry, what?
Biggest it's ever in bodily development, where it's the same as it's like the disparity is the biggest it's ever going to be for the rest of their lives.
Citation needed. Of course, I'm not gonna get any, but yeah, you're really talking about the science, huh? You're really talking about the science.
The SCOTUS ruling today banning transgender girls from participating in girl sports, which they are, is devastating news, and it's not surprising. There's been this focus on this small group of people, this unsupported minorized group of people.
That means correct.
continuously pressing and pushing hatred and vitriol against them for who they are, rather than accepting and allowing them to be people in the world, which, again, they are.
I feel like the leftist progressive view of trans people is just as dehumanizing and taking
It's so dehumanizing to want to allow people to participate in the activities that everybody else can. Yeah, it's so dehumanizing. It is so dehumanizing to not treat trans women as if they were men. It is the most dehumanizing shit ever, right? It doesn't get any more dehumanizing than this. It doesn't get any more dehumanizing than this. What a joke.
away of the personhood of trans people as somebody on the other end who is maybe in a far right way doesn't see the humanity of
What the fuck?
trans people. Part of being human is living in a society following rules, employing common sense. You are taking
Yeah, common sense is when you discriminate against a group of people and ban them from participating in things that everybody else can participate in. You know, it's just part of living in society. When Nazi Germany banned Jewish people from going to the park, sitting on certain types of benches, from going to the public pool, that was not discrimination against Jewish people. That was just part of living in society and employing common sense. Of course. Thank you, Blaire White. Thank you. It's just, you've opened my eyes. Thanks, Blaire White.
those things away from trans people and saying they don't actually need to have those. You are taking away their personhood and their ability to live in a society and be cohesive and adapt and integrate to wider society.
Yeah, just adapt into wider society that just does not accept you and does not allow you to participate in everything like everybody else does. Just accept that, right? It's just, you know, when there was segregation and black people were segregated in society, that wasn't discrimination. That was just integration into wider society. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Of course. Of course.
You are the biggest impediment telling these people who already have issues that fairness is not something they need to concern themselves with. That
What do you mean?
equality
Since when have sports ever been about fairness?
just means rights for them, special rules for them. No, they need
Special rules is being able to participate in the same things as everybody else. That's special rules.
to follow the rules and operate within fairness and common sense, just like everybody else
What the fuck does that mean? Operate within fairness and common sense. Those are empty slogans. Those are meaningless slogans.
in society, because we're all, you know what I mean? Here's the thing is we are all
We all live in a
a
society.
teardrop away from a cry. We are all about to snap and be like, you know, fairness is so
Oh, what the fuck are you talking about? What fairness are you talking about?
strung together in such a sensitive way across society. It's like you see all these people getting away with fraud, living in $1 million houses in Minnesota. You see, you know, politicians getting away.
Oh yes, trans girls wanting to participate in girls' sports at school is like billionaires getting away with fraud. This person has over 1 million subscribers. This person has a loyal, dedicated viewership, apparently. This person's really, really popular. Incredible.
Away with things, and the average person is like they're almost ready
The fuck is the average person? So I best switch to swap mode. The average. How do you know how an average person feels about anything? How would you know, Blaire White?
to agree with these selfish people and be like, okay, F fairness, and then society breaks down. We all have to operate within fairness.
Yes,
Or
so if trans girls were able to participate in girls' sports at school, society would break down. That's common sense.
we're all just, everything's just going to hell. And it's crazy how fairness only ever even applies to them. It's like fairness is just me getting what I want when you're in the trans community. It's just you giving me rights. It's like not me having to balance what I could or should do with the fairness of the women in the league, with the girls I'm playing against
Trans women and trans girls are women and girls. What do you mean?
in school. My advice to trans activists, to people who feel like they're just trying to be friends of trans people, which is a lot of people
Yeah, my advice for people that want to advance trans rights, don't. That's the advice.
in this video are just, you know, guys or girls that are just let me fight for trans people. You're not doing what you think you're doing. It's not hating on anything. Let this issue go. This is like a 90-10 issue. I was going to say 80-20. Now this is like a 90-10 issue. And I know
Citation needed.
y'all think that you're so ahead of it all the time, but you're actually behind society on this one. You actually are. So catch up. Thank you so much to Temu for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. Check them out.
This is a podcast? A solo podcast? What the fuck? This video has 90,000 views. So depressing. Valuable stuff has less views than this, and it's depressing.